Yo, 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 what is up? We are back. This is Bring the Heat podcast. I am Ryan from No Borders. We got Miriah from 49er Faithfully podcast, and we got Bashar from 49er Minded.
Yo,
What up? What
What
up?
is up, everybody?
what's up?
Hey.
How
I'm
are you
happy.
guys doing today?
I'm much better now that my migraine's going away.
Yeah.
And hey, we did beat Philly, right?
Feeling great. Like
Yeah.
like Miss Debbie said, thankful Tuesday because the 49ers lined that shit up and proved it to the Eagles who did all that talking.
Oh,
Yep.
Wise words from Debbie.
You know if Miss Debbie's cussing then.
I know. I never heard her cuss before. One
Well,
of those special
she
occasions.
didn't.
No, I
She,
did for
she
her.
didn't really, technically.
What's up, Miss
Right.
Deb? Appreciate
Oh,
you
she hit it
coming
twice.
through.
Okay. Yes, we do. Miss Deb is the matriarch of the 49er faithful.
She's the
Essentially,
queen
yeah, the
faithful.
whole. Well, I would say she's our mother. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, and I know a lot of people else do. So, and I don't know of another that a lot of people would say or our mother. So, she kind of gets it by default because nobody else ran. You know what I mean? Like, not saying that she ran,
She
but
made me
everybody
cry
kinda,
on my birthday, so shout out to her because she's an awesome lady.
Sure is.
Speaking of your birthday, I was, I kind of felt a little selfish being able to share in, I'm guessing what was your best present of the day.
I shared it with all the faithful, and I'm
49ers winning.
so happy to.
I sent you
Man.
my
Mariah
AI.
always got our back.
I used the AI tool to make you a 49er birthday
Mhm.
cake.
I like
It looked
that.
real though. It
That's
looked real, all right?
Oh, I want to see this. You're gonna have to send it to me after the show.
Oh, it's in our little chat and our little Bring the
Yeah.
Heat chat.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I'll go back.
I woke up that Sunday morning, obviously before the game, and it was my birthday, and I just felt like, oh, my stomach. Once I was like, man, the 49ers, they have to play the Eagles, like this game. Oh, I just felt like a little knot in my stomach. Like, please don't ruin my freaking birthday, whatever you do. Like if there has to be a game that you win, please let it be this one. Like I was so stressed out having it be the Eagles that we played on my birthday. Like we couldn't play some, scrubs. But man, the 49ers went in there and handled business. So I was a happy girl. What's
That's
up,
one
Don?
hell of a birthday present, that game, man. What up, Don?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a hell of a birthday present.
What's up, Carcast?
I remember
Philly special.
Yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate you. That's Spongy, Little Spongy. I don't know if you've seen him around. He's on our Friday night show, but Shar might know him. Yep.
What's up, James? I see you up there.
Yep, James Durnall.
From
shout
across
out to
the
James,
pond.
our man from across the pond.
Carcast is up in here.
Handling that business. Yes, make sure to go check out Carcast. He's got himself a nice little channel too.
You'll see my request, Ryan. I think you see it now.
Like we touched on something I wanted to.
What's up, babe?
Bear Baller.
The ballers in the house.
Bay Area Ballers is what up, Ryan.
Baller.
Ryan, I don't know if you see my request, but you can display the image of the birthday cake.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a AI 49er birthday cake, so it's not real, but it looks
sick.
Yep. I'm like, man, I got a 49ers cake with hot girls and 49er players.
Yep.
Right? The best of both worlds.
Yep. Can't complain.
I would try and do that without the logos on it and the words, and then put that in afterwards with like Canva.
I had multiple results.
Any of the words or anything, right?
I had multiple results for cakes, and they all came out really, really good. I'll send you the pictures in the chat if you want them later. Yeah,
dude, I try to tell it to not put any words and stuff on it, and it'll still put words and stuff on it.
But
yeah, sometimes it does that.
Yeah, well, usually those AI things come out all weird and feedback. came out really good right off the bat. I didn't have to type in a million things and nothing.
I had troubles trying to make it just give me a beer bottle with no logo. Beer
This
bottle,
type
no
generic
logo, bro.
beer bottle.
You see what
No
Baller
logo.
asks right
Having
there?
issues.
Well, you could always put it on Canva and do the magic eraser tool, or whatever. Yeah.
We can start
Ertz
off with
with
that.
Do you
Dwelly.
guys want Ertz Dwelly going down? I personally want to see Braden Willis. I was talking about Braden Willis with Ted. I wonder if Braden Willis could be like a Jawan Jennings prospect, because he's kind of an undersized tight end, but he's not as good at blocking on the line as we'd hoped. But if you move him out to like slot wide receiver, which he's got good wiggle, he can run routes, and then he's only blocking DBs. Could he be a Jawan Jennings replacement? That
They
was
have
kind of
him
my thought.
listed at
And
6'4", 240.
Yeah, he's a little undersized, Yeah, they were saying in camps like, oh, he has excellent run after the catch ability. So I was excited to see what he could do with the ball in his hands. But I don't remember him doing much of the preseason. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But again, I am curious to see him if we do ever bring him up for the practice squad. I don't know if we're going to get Ertz. I could have sworn somebody said that they mentioned that Shanahan mentioned that we have no interest in getting him in one of the pressers. That's what somebody told me. And then we just made the move today for Logan Ryan, of course,
That's
with a different position.
To me, I would like Zach Ertz, because I think that would just be nasty. You could do a two tight end set with them that would just blow everybody out of the water. We saw it when we had Reed. What's his name? First name?
Jordan.
We all wanted to see that. Jordan Reed, yes. And he's not the same type of tight end, but he poses the same type of problems coming off of the line there. Like, think about this. If we have to meet Philly again, they just picked up Shaq Leonard, right? Let's say Shaq Leonard is the guy they believe he can be for their defense, right? Okay. So let's say he can give Kittle trouble. Okay, well, the other no-name bastard who's playing next to him is going to have to cover a Zach Ertz. That's the kind of problems I want to play on people. A lot of people around this league are kind of skimping at the linebacker position because they're putting all their money into the defensive line and the defensive backs. So why not kind of have an offense scheme at times, where you could have Zach Ertz or something just for this year. I know you don't want to spend a lot of money because you want to roll it over. Let's make sure we win. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if we could roll it over if we don't win. To me, you can still restructure people next year. Anybody else have thoughts?
To me, if this was Zach Ertz of 3 years ago, 4 years ago, then I'm all for it. But I don't think Zach Ertz of today moves the needle enough to even worry about it. I'm with Baller. I'd much rather see what Braden Willis can do. Give the young guys a chance, give them a shot. It's not like we use a second tight end anyways. So if we did sign Ertz, who's to say that we're even going to end up using him worth of shit. So I just don't, like I said, I just don't think he moves the needle enough. I'm all for, I want the 2 tight end set so bad. And like, I wanted Jordan Reed to stay healthy and that to work like more than anything. But I don't think Zach Ertz of today is that guy. If he was, I mean, if he was even that guy of 2 years ago, Philly would have never let him go to begin with. Like, that guy was so beloved in Philly. Like, they're not going to let somebody like that walk away if he was, but he can't stay healthy. As soon as he gets on the field, he gets hurt. I just don't think it moves the needle enough to even worry about it.
Well, Miriah is probably smarter than me, so That
Probably.
makes sense.
Did you see what Don said? Oh, can we talk about that
Look,
too?
I said probably.
After, if you want to give your thoughts, whatever,
What?
on that, Bashar, but on the Zach Ertz thing, and then if we can talk about Corey for a minute.
Yeah, really quick about Zach Ertz. I haven't watched him in quite some time. Yeah. I was talking to some people who did watch him recently. They were telling me he's not the same player. Now on paper, it does get me like, oh wow, cool. We get to fight because I've been wanting a pretty damn nice tight end next to Kittle on the opposite side, and you know, not and I did want to draft a tight end as well, but I wanted one a little later. I didn't want to draft one when we drafted one. Well, I thought we kind of reached for the guy who Latu, and I got pissed when he got injured because I thought he made a couple of nice plays in the preseason. I'm like, oh great, we draft this tight end in the draft, and we don't even get to use him. He's out for the season. Brandon Willis is just sitting on the practice squad. So I don't know. Maybe we finally do get to see the guy. I mean, I want somebody to step up, whoever it is. I don't have any preferences for names right about now, but I'd love to see just one other tight end just step up. You know, it's nice that we do have Juwan Jennings in the mix as far as a third receiver. I notice we're going to him a whole lot more now, more so like similar to what we did last year. At one point in time in this season, we weren't really going to him that much. So they are using Juwan Jennings a bit more. So maybe that's why we don't necessarily run two tight ends. You know, even though he's not a tight end, I was just a big wide receiver. But we'll see. We'll see what they do.
Yeah.
We could have ran two tight ends this whole time. We could have ran like Ross Dwelly catches everything that comes in his radius, but they won't let him out on the field to run routes because he's not good at passing. Well, hey, guess what? Have them both out there at the same time. Have it on a passing down. Guess what? It's a passing down. Everybody knows what's up. Okay. Guess who's the last person to get double covered? Ross Dwelly. Let's get that first down sometimes. Throw it to Ross the Boss. But that's it.
Yeah. They better get the tight end thing right next year because
go
ahead.
Let's get to Corey Davis. A very good friend of mine and a lot of people in this community. Corey Davis passed away Monday after the Eagles game, after the trouncing that we gave them. Corey was just a beautiful person. He gave everybody a shot. He just wanted everybody to have fun and enjoy each other's company. Always a stand-up guy. I see the window isn't fixed. But Corey, he had a lot going on with him. He had two different types of cancer and was on kidney dialysis. So he was trucking along. His favorite times was getting in the chat, getting on here on StreamYard and mixing it up with all his buddies. So we're trying to get him to 1,000 subs. As a content creator, for the longest time, you had to have 1,000 subscribers to be able to monetize. And that's kind of the level we all strive to get. So we're trying to get Corey to 1,000 so he can be up there, hit that number. And yeah, I would just appreciate it if you could kind of send the word on Corey Lockdown Davis. I believe Miriah has put the link up in the chat.
Yeah.
Make sure to go hit him up. Make sure to try and spread the word. He wore nothing but 49ers stuff all the time. I think the only thing that wasn't 49ers was some jeans and his suspenders. Everything else was either official 49ers or he had his own 49ers clothing made, like with people on it, with certain players on it. He had his own style. He knew what he was looking for. He had his stuff made for him. Yeah. Corey's.
Yeah, you say that.
Go ahead, Miriah.
About suffering from two different types of cancers, going through dialysis, which if you know or you don't know, like that takes a toll on you by itself, going through all that to try to help prolong your life when like cancer, it's the worst fucking thing out there. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that even though he was suffering and all this was going on with him, like when he got behind the mic and was just talking to you guys, like you would not know that nothing was wrong with him, you know, like he was just so happy and so full of life. And it just makes you think, you know, like there's a lot of us that complain about shit, and you know, like it makes it seem like shit that we shouldn't be complaining about, you know, like people are going through some real tough shit, you know. And not to say that his is more or anything than anybody else's, but you know, to see that he would just light up and be so excited to just talk about the 49ers. And I know that you guys meant so much to him, and you guys prolonged and helped his last days and made him so happy, you know. And I'm so grateful for him that he was able to meet you guys and that you guys were able to do this with him, you know. And I know that him and his, you know, his wife or fiance, girlfriend, whatever, you know, I know that they were so, like, you guys meant so much to both of them, you know, Bryant and Tony, and you know, all of you guys that did shows with him. So you know, like hats off to you guys for helping him along and getting him through, you know, probably the worst days of his life, you know. And you know, I'm just, you know, more than anything, I'm just glad that he's not suffering anymore, you know. And you know, like I'm so happy that he got, like, I'm sure that he, you know, he spent his last, you know, last hours, you know, knowing that even if he didn't get to watch it, that the 49ers were beating the shit out of the Eagles, you know. And like he made it through the game before, you know, he took his last breath and said goodbye. And you know, I just, like, rest in peace, Corey. And like Ryan said, if you guys can go subscribe to his channel, I put the link there. If you're watching it later, it's, you know, www.youtube.com at Mr. MRKAD 1989. So you know, I know obviously he won't be here to see it, but you know, like it'll be a something like his memory, you know, as a 49ers content creator, you know, living on.
Yeah, it's really sad. It's terrible. I mean, it hasn't hit me really, really hard just yet. Things kind of hit me in random moments, you can say. And yeah, I've dealt with a lot of losses over the past 12 years, you can say. You know, once I lost my grandparents, and then a couple years later, you know, a good friend of mine committed suicide, lost my brother, and all that. So yeah, last 10 years haven't been easy for me, and it's a part of the growing process. You know, when you grow older, it sucks because down the road, you're gonna lose people. You had no control over it. My only suggestion, I mean, I'm a God fearing man. You know, just if somebody's sick or people need your help, you know, it's always good to pray for them. And we sent a lot of prayers out for Corey on our live streams when we knew he was struggling. And you know, Terradome on my very, very last, you know, actually on our, what day was it? I'm trying to remember what day we did the show. Anyways, I'm forgetting that, my mind's like spinning. I had Terradome on the channel. Actually, it was a post game show for the Eagles, so that's what it was. And we didn't know what Corey's status was, but we still knew Corey needed prayers. And you know, Terradome's a preacher, and he gave a very, very nice formal prayer at the end of the show for Corey. And it had a lot of meaning and a lot of heart it put into it. And you know, Corey definitely needed that. And you know, he needs all your love and prayers and all your support. And you know, I just hope he's in a much better place now. I heard that he did suffer a lot. I knew he was going through some type of health problems. I didn't ask him for details or anything like that, but I knew he'd kind of low key mentioned a few things here and there. Unfortunately, I never got to meet the guy. I know Bryant did, and Beto, John Jay, David McNiner. Those guys were definitely fortunate enough to meet Corey. I believe maybe Tony met him as well. And you know, it was fun just going on little just chill hangout streams, just talking about the Niners, goofing off and talking about life sometimes with Corey was cool. And Corey's a little older, he's a bit older than me, but we did grow up at one point in time I lived in the East Bay. You know, not like about 20 minutes east of Berkeley, and he lived about probably 10 minutes from where I grew up. So we knew a lot about the same type of places and same type of areas over by. We were just making little jokes about this BART station that we used to always use. And you know, so we're very familiar about the areas that we grew up in, so we kind of had that connection. And I never saw the guy ever. I never, you know, I could be a temperamental person from time to time, but I never saw his temper ever go up. I mean, it seemed like he was the most laid back, friendliest, you know, teddy bear type of personality you could think of. I can't recall the guy ever swearing or cussing or. I mean, he really led
He
a
did
very
with
good. When did he cuss? When did he
when the
cuss?
Niners lost those 3 games. He was cussing
Oh, I
up a
missed that.
storm. Oh,
Oh
because they
wow,
weren't
okay.
playing up to their potential, and he couldn't deal with that. He'll take a loss, but he couldn't. They were playing the opposite of their potential that we had seen, and he could not stand that. He was dropping
Hey,
F-bombs. Oh,
those were some frustrating games, but he's a passionate Niner fan, so missed that part. But I'm not surprised because he's got passion. He had passion, a lot of passion for the Niners, and yeah, those were some frustrating games. But I could never ever picture him swearing at somebody. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And he even told some really
yeah.
I remember him telling some story where he was on a bus. I'm gonna give you the short version of the story, but non-detailed version of the story. Basically, he was on a bus and some kids said something mean to him, and then the other kids were egging him on to fight, and he just had this amazing comeback, hey, I'm not here to fight, and he just had all these philosophical words about why he wasn't gonna fight, and he just spun it around in this motivational type of speech, that's the guy who Corey was, and really fun to be around, just really humble, extremely friendly. I can't say enough good things about the guy. Just again, if you want to raise your kids and show them how to present themselves and how to carry themselves, Corey's a good example in my opinion. So it was great knowing you, Corey. Hopefully you're in a better place, and we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of good times, and just focus on those good times. And we miss you, man.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah. Love that, man.
And I appreciate everything from the chat, all the love. I appreciate you guys subbing to his channel. Like I said, if you continue to hear this, watch this later on, it just takes a second to, hit that subscribe on his channel.
Yeah, I'll go back in afterwards and put it in the description too. So anybody watching this later, you'll be able to subscribe easily by just hitting the link in the chat or in the description. Let's get to something that I know Corey Davis would appreciate us talking about. The highlights of the game. What are your favorite moments of the game? Everybody give me one for now, and we'll go back around because there'll be a couple. I don't want everybody taking everybody's. Who wants to go first? Miriah?
Sure. I'll start off and go with an easy one. The fact of the Ayuk scoring the first touchdown, obviously everybody knows that's my favorite player. I'm a huge Ayuk fan, so him scoring the first touchdown on my birthday, I thought was very fitting. And man, he's just really turned obviously we all knew what he could be, right? But our quarterback situation has held him back for so long. And now I'm just so happy for him finally having a quarterback that can utilize him, he don't have to be crying for the deep ball anymore because it's coming his way. So yeah, I'll go with Brandon Ayuk scoring that first touchdown. And kind of after that was it was 6-0 at the time. We know that first quarter was rough for the 49ers. I was like, man, please don't let the whole game go like this. That made me sick to my fucking stomach. And then after he scored that touchdown, that the Eagles scored again after that, but after that 7-6 moment, the Eagles never stood a fucking chance again after that game. I felt they were never a threat again after that moment.
Yeah. Bashar.
Yeah, and that was you mentioned it. The very beginning of that game, man, we were just all like, dang, maybe
God.
this team does have our number. Purdy's not looking like Purdy, and that D line's getting to us, and it was like, damn, what is going on here? But my favorite touchdown, it was actually when the game was already out of reach, but it was I'm actually rewatching it on my screen right now, so I can remind myself of how beautiful the play it was. We're at the 45-yard line. We threw a little 2 yards screen pass or swing pass to Debo on the left side of the field, and he runs it all the way over to the middle of the field, to the right of the field, and then Ayuk slips.
Mhm.
I mean, I didn't even notice it during the broadcast. I didn't even focus on it.
Slide.
But the Ayuk does like a slip and slide celebration for Debo, and Debo was doing his dance, and it was like, yeah, the game was out of reach. I get it, but it was like, yeah, let's stick it to these
Yep.
damn Eagles because they love talking so much shit about us, and they got so offended by us saying that we didn't have a quarterback in that NFC playoff game. It's like, duh, you play any team in the NFL, and if they're throwing their CMC or damn use check at quarterback. For the
Right.
majority of the game, it's like, of course you're shorthanded. Of course you have an excuse to say something. And they took that as offense, like, oh, they're disrespecting us by saying that they didn't have their quarterback or whatever. And it's like, and then Debo obviously was the biggest shit talker throughout that whole offseason, saying Bradbury's trash and all that. So that just, and then once you saw the touchdown too, I just laughed, and the people who were with me were laughing. It's like, I was like, oh, hey, look how empty the stadium is, because you could see that empty end zone.
Mhm.
It was like you saw some Niner fans sitting there and saw a couple of green jerseys here and there, and it was great.
That was his third one?
His last one, the last touchdown we
okay.
scored that gave us 42 points, and it was like, it's just we saw those classic Debo run after the catch type plays, and throughout the season, actually, for those that say that, oh, Purdy's dink and dunk, and he has been throwing a lot of passes downfield, so we didn't always get to see those huge explosive, like run after the catch, short yardage type, short throws that turn into big throws because the receiver just does all the crazy work. All the blocking was there, and I know one of those touchdowns Debo got, that might have been it, but stupid announcer Greg Olson was like, oh, look at Ronnie Bell, that he blocked him in the back. Oh, that's an illegal block. And he like basically pancaked the guy. Like, dude, shut up, man. Quit trying to steal our thunder, dude.
A lot of people don't like Greg Olson, I hear.
He sucked during that broadcast, dude.
One of my favorites was that wheel route to Juice. I was watching it live, and we're talking about it, and like as I see the play going, I know exactly what's about to happen. It's that wheel route that we always throw to Juice, like back in the day that Jimmy would miss. The only difference is there's a clear out route right in front of it. And I'm like, oh, this is the and then it happened. And I was so excited. I wanted to jump out of my seat, but I couldn't.
Why couldn't you jump out of your seat?
Because I'm kind of pinned in here at the moment with the
he'll hit his
TV
head on
tray.
the ceiling.
Oh, okay.
No, they are low ceilings, but they're not that low.
He's 7 foot tall, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
No,
You just can't tell.
they're not 7. They're like 7.5 foot ceilings.
And Ryan's 8 feet tall, so
No, but me extending my arm all the way up is 8 foot. Like if I do my arm
Dang.
like this is 8 foot.
My next play, I'm going to go with, and hats off to this guy. It was, I believe it was 3rd down. Jalen Hurts was, and our defensive line, man, we didn't get too many sacks, like I would have wanted, but they made Jalen's life miserable for most of the game. He was constantly having to freaking, like, he was never comfortable standing in that freaking pocket, very rarely. But it was on a play, and I don't remember what had happened, like off the top of my head, like in the pocket, but Jalen's having to backpedal, and he freaking slips. And Kinlaw's right there to, pat him down and get, what they call a sack, and that was, obviously Kinlaw didn't have to do too much, work, but he was the one getting pressure on Jalen to have him backpedaling, which caused him to freaking slip in the first place. And he was, Jalen could have easily got up. We know he's quick as freaking shit on his feet, right? He could have easily popped up and made a play there, so hats off to Kinlaw for, like he's been consistently this season. I think his game, as he's healthier and getting more comfortable. And I think him not being obviously having to be the guy, right? Like the spotlight's off him now. Hargrave's there, he's the starter, and Kinlaw's just able to be, now the, rotation guy. The heat's kind of off of him, and he's able to just do his thing. And, he's been doing good. And he got the sack, so I'm going to go with the big Kinlaw sack.
Yeah.
big
He had 2
Kinlaw
You know,
sacks.
it's
He
funny
had
you
2
were talking
sacks.
about, like, sometimes he, felt comfortable in there, and then you're saying he felt comfortable at times in there, but he didn't at times and this and that. Well, that play, he was feeling comfortable until all of a sudden Kinlaw's right there, like 3 steps away from him, and he's like, "Oh crap, I gotta make a whoop."
You got this 400-pound guy freaking
Like,
chasing
he was
down your
feeling
throat.
himself and then with abs. Ooh, with
Yeah,
abs.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Bashar,
still wonder.
what's your
I
other
still
highlight?
question every time I think Kinlaw. I always think like, how is still to this day? For what is it? The 4th year that he's been with us now. Like, how is that even humanly possible? Like, how is your like? Like, what do you have to be built with? What kind of genes are you made with for it to even be humanly possible to weigh what he weighs and have fucking abs?
Yeah. He actually did drop weight since we've had him, though. He was a lot heavier when we first drafted him.
But he
'Cause
had abs from then.
he was
Didn't
pretty.
matter.
Yeah, he had quality weight. He always had quality weight. Yep. He did have to drop some weight for his knees or whatever. But now the question: what the second highlight is? Is that what you're asking me?
Just another highlight. Yeah.
Another highlight. Just one in general. It was just nice when they finally. Well, obviously the CMC touchdown on the left hand side that we ran with them. That was nice. Was on the left hand side, right hand side? I'm forgetting, but it was nice to see CMC get back in the end zone, and just in general, just how we were very consistent with running CMC, even though it's an obvious thing. Like, hey, we have success running on the left side of the field with Trey Williams and Aaron Banks are, but let's just keep doing it, and it worked. It kept working.
Yep.
So that in general, I definitely wanted to point that out. It's not like a major highlight, but it was consistent gashes down the field, 10 yards, 9 yards, 8 yards here.
Yeah, and they know, like you said, the 49ers, they run the ball that way because it works. And it's like the defense knows the 49ers are gonna run the ball that way, and still they cannot stop CMC. Like, that guy is such a freaking beast. Like, and shout out to him because he hit 1,000 yards this game, which makes him the first 49ers running back to have 1,000 yards since freaking Frank Gore. Like, that's crazy.
That's going way back.
Yeah. So, man, we're so lucky. I still shocks me to this day that we were able to get him.
Yeah, 2014. We had a lot of running backs get the 900s. For some reason, they couldn't crack the 1,000-yard barrier.
Hey, Miriah, I want you to check out Bob Sapp. He was a pride fighter back in the day. Check out his weight. It's
terrible fighter. The guy's built like, I mean, he's a weak fighter. I mean, he looks scary, and he's like a walking steroid basically. But he's just what's up?
He's bigger than Kinlaw. And
oh yeah,
he got all the same muscles.
They have him listed at 6'5", 350.
Yeah, he's huge. He tried to play in the NFL or something like that. I don't know. And then you would expect him to be the greatest fighter on planet Earth, but he's not. Like, I've seen him lose plenty of fights, and I don't know. He's got some
comparison.
He's got poor sportsmanship too.
They have Kinlaw at 6'5", 320. So he is the same height and 30 pounds heavier.
I do have one more highlight really quick. It's not necessarily something that happened in terms of our Niner players, but when I saw this happen, I had a feeling we had the game. When Jalen Carter was that's the new defensive tackle when he was crying on the sidelines to Sirianni, that was when I knew we broke that team and we were winning the game.
Yep. Freaking crybaby sissy. Hey, Tanya.
You're gonna take Tanya? Mine. Getting there too.
You were gonna do the Jalen Carter thing?
See, you gave 2.
Everybody.
Took his.
What up, Tanya? And then we got Raphael in the house. Raphael is a Raiders fan, but he's a homie. He also does some rapping. Very good guy, and he's repping the homie Corey. Appreciate you. Tanya, appreciate you stopping in. I don't know if I gave you your claps, but now you got your claps. We are, yeah. So, another thing I liked is I can't remember who was running the ball. It was one of the touchdowns. Kittle was out in front, and he had 2 guys. Now, the second guy might have been a hold, but the first guy was
Yeah.
totally legal,
Mhm.
and I that was one of my favorites right there. And then, I guess
Was
we
that
would
the
be remiss if we
Jennings? Was that the Jennings touchdown?
I think it was either CMC or it was Debo.
Okay. But I know I can picture exactly what you're talking about. He like has both, like has
'Cause I
one, and
remember
then all of a
watching
sudden
it
the other
after, I
one
was
comes
like,
up
"Yeah."
and he has a
And, like, as you see it, he's going through, you're like, "Yeah, Kittle's got that guy blocked," and it goes through, he's like, "And he's holding the shit out of that guy."
Yep.
I was like, "Play's over, though, can't go back, I don't care." You know, I'm one for rules
Yep.
and all, but, I don't give a shit against the Eagles.
Too late.
And then, who was it who put
Go
the
ahead.
hit on, Swift? Who was it
That
who put the hit
was
on Swift
Diamador
again at the
Lenore.
end?
That was Lenore.
Demo.
Lenore, that's right.
I love that.
Put a little
That was
stank on
awesome.
it.
Yeah.
I
That
have
was
a
like some
Sonic that-
old football freaking like, heavy hitter. Like it was total legal, but I'm surprised they didn't throw a flag just because the way it looked and
Yeah.
sounded, like they're
And
so
they always
soft
throw
these
flags
days.
on us. They always
Exactly.
throw flags on. If you want to see the Sonic the Hedgehog version of that play, I do have it on my Instagram. I can share it on here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You want me to play
Yeah,
it,
you
Ryan?
should.
So what?
Oh, there's a Sonic the
Wait,
Hedgehog
what?
version of that play with the coins pop busting out if you want to see it.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll play it. Just give me
Yeah.
a second.
Let's do it.
Just a second. Here we go.
I want all that smoke.
It'll come up in a second. It's kind of starting from the end.
All that smoke.
Let's take a look here. It looked live like he led with his shoulder.
It's gonna do it again.
It's a clean, hard hit.
It's gonna do it from the other angle
good to
too.
see Swift being able to get up.
This guy can do it. He can do it. Looks over the middle. Oh, my goodness. What an unbelievable hit.
I love that. What's that, Twin?
It's funny.
That
What's
was
up, Twin?
good. I love Sonic.
Yeah, me too. I still got to see the movies. I haven't seen the movies yet.
Something not like a big play or anything, but something that I loved, and this just shows the confidence, is when Debo scored his second touchdown and he's already waving goodbye. Like, like there was still time left. Obviously, I think we still scored, Jennings' touchdown, I think, came after that, and obviously Debo's third touchdown. And he already had that much confidence that, he's like waving by, the whole thing, shout out to all of them for showing up in all black to the game, like, showing up in the Eagles stadium to their own fucking funeral. The whole thing with Debo and his black Air Forces pregame, like it was just so great, like everything leading up to it. And then just the freaking ass whooping that they just laid down, from pretty much the second quarter on. From the minute the second quarter started, it was like turned on and they never looked back. And like you could tell Debo, he was ready for that game. Like there was no way he was having a shitty game, like man, he was turned up. I hope we see that Debo from here on out. It would be nice.
we need a Debo game like that in the playoffs. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Debo. I love saying his name.
Yes. That's Did
you see it when they came out of the tunnel? Did you see how?
When they came out of the tunnel,
but that one run where we got all the linemen. Well, it's the Eagle Stadium, but that one play where we got all the linemen out in front of him, and he hit the back of the lineman with just the right timing, so no one could grab him, and then he broke the rest for that. Oh man, I can watch that play over and over and over and over and over again. You know what I mean? It's so perfect. Say magnifique.
Hey, Laura.
What's up, Laura?
We got Twin in the house.
I gotta do this for Twin.
Laura Cat, what up, Laura Cat? Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Is there any mistakes or anything you wanted to speak of? You can also let's talk about the slow start and any mistakes. Bashar, start with you. What do you
So
think
smart.
was the reason for the slow start? And what other kind of mistakes do you think we might need to look at? It's really hard to find mistakes in a game like that, but there are some. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we obviously fixed them, whatever adjustments they made, but it looked like whatever plays they scripted early on. Usually we're right when we script plays because we're excellent at scoring on our first drive, right? We're so used to seeing that. Like it's like clockwork with the 49er offense on the first drive, like boom, boom. Purdy's just like boom, boom, hand off the CMC here and there. And we didn't get CMC involved early on. That was obviously part of it. So people were like, oh, get CMC involved. Come on, let's start running the ball. Why are we forcing the pass so much? And then early on, I saw like McKivitz getting turned into mincemeat by Josh Sweat. And I was like, oh man, is it gonna be one of those type of games? And then I saw some passes being batted down the line of scrimmage. I saw freaking Hassan Reddick getting in on a couple of plays, and I was like, oh, it can't be one of those games. It definitely can't. So, they obviously fixed everything. The O-line just toughened up. The schemes were better, and it was just beautiful, man. And I can't really complain too much. Jeez.
Yeah, I'm pretty much with you.
Yeah, I think that.
Oh, sorry. I feel like
Go ahead,
you're
Mari.
on a delay from us,
No.
Ryan. So it's like
I noticed that a few times. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I don't know what the deal was that first quarter, but to come out and go 3 and out, they couldn't get shit going. Like and like you said, the ball didn't go to CMC. Now CMC didn't touch the ball one single time during all that. So it's like you got to put the ball, regardless, run past something, put the ball in your best fucking player's hands and let him go to work, But after that, like, I don't know what kind of the switch they flipped or what. I don't know if they just needed to settle down, if it was what the hell it was, but for them to turn it around and completely, they didn't score a single point in the first quarter, but second quarter they scored 14, third quarter they scored 14, fourth quarter they scored 14. So I don't think you can complain very much after redeeming yourself that way after a shitty first quarter. But yeah, I was kind of worried, at the same, to see them come out and have a start like that on offense when we're used to seeing them come out and instantly put points on the board. I'm like, man, this is going to make for a shitty day if this continues. But yeah, they were able to turn it around, and hats off to the defense for holding the Eagles to 6 points off of those two drives, because man, it could have easily been 0-14 at that time, and the defense held it down in the fucking red zone and stopped them from scoring a touchdown. So hats off to the defense because they really balled out.
Yeah.
So it is.
The script to me looked like they were trying to use CMC as a diversion. And I think that, not a diversion, a distraction, as like, trying to distract. And I think that's okay, but he is the running back on the field, and we do everything through our run game. So if you're going to use him as a gimmick to get everybody's attention, well, you better have somebody else in the game that's a running back. They tried it with Debo, but you can't use Debo because he's the other gimmick. You know what I mean? Like, he's the other gimmick. So put in Elijah Mitchell or something next time you want to do that, and split Christian McCaffrey out, and send him in motion or do all that, and then just hand the ball off to Elijah Mitchell up the middle. You know what I mean? Do something like that. We got to get the run game going. Kyle, no matter what, if you're going to use him as a decoy, use him as a decoy, but make sure you got somebody else in there to run the ball, or on the next play, let him run the ball. It's not like you have to go the whole series with him just in there and looking pretty.
You got a raid coming in, Ryan.
A lot of people jumping in. I got something to add once you acknowledge those people. You got a raid.
Oh,
shout out to the Raiders. We appreciate y'all coming through.
And getting some love from the Raiders. What's going on here?
What up, Rising Rhino? Appreciate you, sir. Everybody, Rising Rhino's got a great show. If you guys aren't watching football with me or anything like that, you can always check him out. Also, he does hockey, Colorado Avalanche, all those types of games. He's a Colorado Avalanche fan too, but he's also a Colts fan. So if you're looking for anything that's from this perspective of a Colts fan, make sure to go check him out.
Awesome,
Thank you guys
awesome.
for all coming in here and showing love. Corey Davis. Don't forget our Corey Davis. Oh, what up, Linda? Appreciate
hell of people
you.
coming here.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the Raiders.
He's got a great group of people. They do raids all the time. Yeah. Hey, make sure to sub to the channels in the description if you can too, please. Be much appreciative. My cohorts here are very wonderful and deserve sub also. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. What's up, Bebop? I saw you earlier. Never got to shout you out. I see you, Bebop-aroni.
Yep, Bebop. He's like the glue that keeps the 49ers content creators together.
There you go.
And Brian Cole.
He's the best.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Bebop crazy glue.
Oh. Appreciate you guys all.
Yeah. Wanted to add something really quick because really quick, I want to touch on something.
Yeah.
Just so I'm getting. Why is it that I watch Niner games and then I go on like Facebook feeds or during the games or whatever, or even sometimes Twitter, and it's like, Kyle, we're sick of you and your damn conservative play calls, blah blah. It's like, dude, like we put up over 30 points on the Eagles on the Seahawks field for Thanksgiving. We put up 42 points on the Eagles field, you know, with this redemption game. Like, dude, we're third in the league in offense. Like, what more? Third in the league in scoring points per game. Like, what more do you want from Kyle in terms of offense? I mean, I think everything's like, this is the best offense I've seen since Kyle's been here because we actually have a damn quarterback. So dude, let's just enjoy the ride.
Yep. What's up, Throwback? I see you. Let me go subscribe to Rhino.
We got Throwback in the house. Rising Rhino. Oh, he's good peeps. He's got a good show he puts out. What up, Throwback? Him and them, his community do raids all the time. So like he covers games for the most part. Like he's not doing like shows this type of format. So he covers games, and during the periods or quarters, he's out doing raids. Yeah. Awesome. And that's kind of why we've been doing Corey Davis raids.
Well, appreciate you coming
Cowboys
through. I just
versus
subscribed
Eagles.
to your channel as well. And sorry, Ryan's on a delay, so we just keep talking over each other.
So I was seeing something on Twitter that said the Cowboys have won like all of that last 5 home games against the Eagles. So we just need the Eagles to lose one game and us to win out, which is possible for us. What is the probabilities? Is there anything that you see that stands out that kind of points more to that than just, hey, the last 5 times at home they won? Is there anything you guys see? Miriah, let's start with you.
I mean, I don't know about anything specific, but I mean, you can't ever just say that the Eagles are just going to go in there and freaking, you know, beat the shit out of the Cowboys when, you know, that's still a divisional game at the end of the day. So, you know, I'm hoping regardless how many times they've won in a row, none of that matters to me. What matters to me is this season and the 2 teams showing up on the field this season. So this season, I need the Cowboys. The only time I'll probably ever freaking say this, to please go in there and win. Actually do what you're supposed to do for once in your freaking shitty Cowboys life. Go in there and please beat the shit out of the Eagles. Thank you.
That's funny. Oh, man. Good job, bro.
Bashar, what do you got?
Yeah. So, I mean, they'll have those divisional rivalries go, but I don't know. I don't know if I see the Eagles losing 2 games in a row on their home field. I just don't know. Is actually, you know
No,
what?
it's
Hey,
at
this game,
Dallas.
it's in Dallas. It's in Dallas. That's right. And I do have the box score pulled up from when they did play last time. Actually, it was in Philly last time they played, and Philly all throughout the season they haven't been blowing teams out. They've won a lot of close games, and a lot of their games that they won, they did give up a lot of points. Now against the Cowboys, it was 28-23. They did come out on top. But I mean, Prescott had himself a game, 374 yards, three TDs, and CD Lamb 191 yards on 11 receptions. So I mean, if this Dallas offense can come out firing on all cylinders, and they could give Philly some fits. I mean, those divisional games are always a little different, and Prescott for some reason against other teams has been playing really well. Actually, he's been doing a really really good job, and we're talking about how efficient Brock Purdy is and all that. But if you look right behind Brock Purdy's stat lines, it's usually Prescott creeping up on him. So we'll see.
Prescott's playing his best football right now, I think.
Yeah, ever since we kicked his ass. So
yeah, him and CD Lamb, like they're rolling.
Very true.
And it's very rare, right?
Games and puts up the best stats when he's looking for a paycheck.
Yeah. Like you wouldn't just expect that since it is a divisional game, you're not just expecting that the Eagles are gonna beat them both games either, right? Like usually, you're going to split when you're both, up in your division. Like both are playing really good football. So, like I can't picture the Cowboys just losing both the divisional games to them.
Okay.
And hang on, I got something for you, Ryan, in the chat.
Got something for that ass.
Throwback says he's got another video coming out. Ooh.
Excuse me, bitch.
Doesn't work so well with the delay.
Let's try it. I think you saw my prompt there, Ryan.
Oh. I already did.
Oh no, about that. No, did you see my request in the private chat?
Yeah, I did.
Which one you want?
Which one you want?
The high pitched one.
We got this one. This is the female one. I can sound like a lady.
Hello. That don't.
Bashar,
that sounds like a
what are you
tranny.
doing after the stream?
It
says femo. It says femo.
Sounds
Not
like you're going to be a
female, but
RuPaul.
femo. There's no E
RuPaul
in
Drag
there.
Race.
RuPaul makes a pretty lady. I'm just saying.
What do you think about the Eagle security guard, Ryan?
He's a bitch.
Oh.
That's what I was trying to get you to do, man.
He's a
I don't know if you saw
bitch. He's a little bitch. I'd think his little butt. Nah, big guys you can punch in the throat and kick in the nuts. It's real easy. Then you can tee off on their head while they're bent over.
Yeah. It's true. Oh.
You better watch out.
What's Debbie got to say? Kyle is
Look
trying
at the
some
one
things in the
above her.
first quarter. Got the Eagles' confidence up. Kyle was playing chess, I tell you. Then he got his bag and went off. That's right.
Yep.
So did.
Yep.
Hey, it was a clean game too. I mean, we didn't. Oh my gosh! Whoa,
Sounds
what's
like
going
a
on here?
Smurf.
We had a clean game. I mean, very few penalties on our end, and we didn't turn the ball over. It would been nice to force some turnovers. We didn't force any turnovers, but hopefully we can continue just not getting penalized so much. And the only bad penalty really was the Greenlaw one, which was they just love. They always think he's tackling somebody out of bounds or slamming somebody, and they have their eye on Greenlaw for whatever reason. It's annoying. David Corona.
Choke
What's
me,
up,
baby.
David?
Sorry,
love
I was
that
supposed
comment.
to put this one when I said choke me, baby. It was, working with what I got here, Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. Is that all you
And by the
got?
way, that guy, Somi's your biggest fan, by the way, Ryan. He's always praising you.
What's that?
Somi's your biggest fan.
Oh,
He's always
thank you,
praising
Somi. Appreciate you.
He's I like that stoner guy from Seattle.
Stoner
Yeah, I said
guy.
appreciate that.
Please start. Oh, what's up, Joe Stevens?
Joe talk. Joe.
We're gonna bring
Joe,
it
you
Sunday.
get
Don't
enough
worry.
this week. Yeah, don't worry. We all burnt out from giving it from the Eagles, you know what I mean? So we gotta recuperate, you know. Our guys
we're
are
full.
gonna speak for us.
2 weeks straight of eating fried bird, man. Now we got to make room for next week too.
Quick question,
Bird buffet.
Joe. You might see this maybe more in depth tomorrow on the rivalry show that I do with Joe Stevens here on his channel. But Joe, do you think your secondary will change anything, like kind of drastically between because of the last couple of games? It just seems like they're giving up a lot of points, and I'm wondering because like you've got talented defensive backs, so to me it doesn't make sense that that's happening, and I'm wondering if we're gonna see something new to like stifle us, you know, to kind of give us something different to go up against and not ready for, you know what I mean, not prepared for. That's what I'm looking for. So I mean, know what you think.
Or
Quick
we can
question.
see
He said,
if
I don't
he's
know.
getting
I seen
benched,
that,
you know.
what's this other one?
I wanted to bring up
Says,
Purdy really, really
does team
quick.
have any continuity?
I wanted to bring up Purdy really quick because
Okay, bring up Purdy.
now the national headline, well, now the national TV shows are kind of saying, well, Purdy's in the MVP conversation, and you know if he keeps up this type of play from here on out, and I'm not going to argue with them. What do you guys think?
They only have to say this because Vegas is doing it.
I heard that's what I heard. I heard Vegas had it up there. I forgot what odds they were giving him or something like that. But
I have it right here.
You got it. And you are the one that lives in Vegas.
Yeah, Purdy's
before last
plus
Sunday's game, he was
300.
like plus 1,500.
Yeah, Purdy's first at plus 300, and then tied for second is Jalen Hurts and Dak at plus 350.
Okay.
And then next after that's Tua at plus 700.
We can all agree it's kind of a down year for quarterbacks, right? Because a lot of the big name, high profile franchise quarterbacks are not really showing up this year for whatever reason.
Yeah, I just hate that it has to, you know, that they make it like a quarterback thing. You know, if it's going to be like that, they should make quarterback MVP and then league MVP. You know, because this isn't supposed to be a quarterback thing. It's supposed to be a league MVP thing. Yet, you know, nobody ever gets the shine they deserve because it just goes to quarterbacks. And like you said, quarterback plays down and it's like they're still forcing it. Like it has to be forced to go to a quarterback regardless, you know, like Tyreek Hill, CMC,
They get all the money.
They should both be leading the freaking MVP votes, the MVP odds, you know, but no, they're not even on this list I have. It has Brock, Jalen, Dak, Tua, Lamar, Mahomes. Like, you know, any quarterback that you could possibly give it to before we give it to, you know, another playmaker. It's like, it's ridiculous.
Mahomes is not even having a good year. And
exactly,
you got CMC and Tariq having great years. Like how is he in this? Like I can understand Brock Purdy. Okay. Brock Purdy last picked in the draft, second year in the league, comes back after a big thing. He's just moving and shaking with the Niners. I get that. I could see how he could be in the voting. I totally get that. Comeback player, you could do that too, right? I get it. But like saying all the like Lamar, you could say Lamar, but not really. Like he's not doing something that somebody else isn't.
And they have Lamar and
You know, he's not doing
Mahomes
it better than
tied.
somebody. Yeah. And I think Mahomes should be even farther lower.
Yeah.
Because he's not doing jack. How is he like? He could play lights out for the last couple games, and I don't think he could win it.
Exactly.
It's good I brought up the
He hasn't been
MVP thing
consistent
because
enough.
you. Oh, sorry. I know they got that delay thing going.
No, go ahead.
My bad. I was just saying it's good I brought it up because Miriah came prepared. She had all her lists and who was tops in the running and all that. So cool.
Yep.
So let's get this. Let's get this in 49ers versus Seahawks. Matchups you're wanting to look out for. Joe Stevens said, kind of gave us an answer to that question. He says, of course they'll change something, but I'm not sure what it is. But I guarantee we won't put Adams on Kittle. And if so, there's a major personnel issue. So it looks like he's pretty he's pretty sure they're not going to put Adams on Kittle. Is there any other matchups you want to see? Ted was talking about Walker coming back.
Kenneth
Do you
Walker,
think that's something that is a needle mover? Yeah. Is that a needle mover for you?
What kind of injury did he sustain? Do you guys know?
Miriah? Bashar?
I was asking.
I can't remember, but he was questionable for last game, so he should.
Let me see.
I mean, it's gonna be interesting because lately the run defense has been looking pretty damn good, right? I mean, Swift didn't really do shit against us, and I was worried about him because he's got explosive ass speed. Go ahead, Miriah.
Oh no, I just said no. He didn't do shit against us.
Okay. We do have Kalia Davis up in the mix now at defensive tackle. Shout out to him because we had him on the shelf for God knows how long, and he was supposed to be our DJ Jones prototype D tackle, former linebacker who's speedy, 320, 6'1". You know, that squatty, bulky type D tackle. So it's gonna be interesting to see if he helps out with the run defense. He had himself a sack in his first game, so we'll see how that goes. I mean, you mentioned Kenneth Walker. Hopefully we're consistent with our run defense, but that could cause us some problems. I just don't know how he is with the injury.
Walker had a strained oblique injury.
Okay.
So, I don't care.
And we've seen people have oblique injuries and come back.
Walker's a great running back, and you know, all credit to him, but I'm not worried about it. I think, you know, at the beginning of the season, I had us splitting the games with Seattle. However, that's when I thought Seattle was going to be, you know, better than they actually are. And I had them winning the game in Seattle. I honestly don't think Seattle stands a chance to win this game in Santa Clara. So they can activate anybody they want. They can put Adams on whoever they want because at the end of the day, they have nobody else that can guard Kittle. And whoever you put Adams on is a liability. Unless you have him, you know, blitz boy. Other than that, he's a liability. So I ain't worried about it.
Yeah. I mean, Bobby Wagner from what I hear, he's having one of his better seasons ever since he came back to the Seahawks. So I'm not sure how they're going to have him in the mix. If it's maybe he possibly tries to guard Kittle, it's going to be interesting. But it's kind of like pick your poison with the 49ers offense, right? You don't know who's going to strike, you know, so many weapons.
Yep.
If Bobby Wagner's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, I'll be really surprised because he has played great football his entire career. And to be as good as he's doing now, in, you know, as old as he is, in the position he's in, is just miraculous, and it's amazing. And even though he's a Seahawk, I gotta give the man his props.
No, he's a great linebacker. Yeah.
We got David McNiner in the house.
What's up, David?
I have a sprained wrist, but it rubbed some dirt on it, and I got back to it. There you go. I slipped on the stairs and broke my rib, and then the real story is I rolled me a nice little cone, right? I got some wacky tobacco in there. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go outside and have me a little. On the way down, I slip, break my rib, and it takes me about 2 minutes to pull myself together. And then I realized I left the lighter upstairs. So now I gotta walk up the stairs to get a lighter, and I go outside and I sit there and I smoke that coin with that cone with that broken rib. And then I streamed with Ted about an hour and a half later. He's like, "You okay?" I was like, "Yeah, man, we'll do it. Yeah, we're good." Yep.
Oh
I
my
got through
God.
that show with a broken rib. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta make shit happen. Right? Um, real quick before we go, Throwback had a question. I thought we should get into it. He says, "Where do you rank Brock Purdy?" And he says he has him ranked top 8.
Well, that came in at the same time as the MVP
Of active
conversation. So
quarterbacks?
is that quarterbacks or MVP situation or what?
Well, I think he's talking about the best quarterbacks in the league as far as talent goes. Because obviously we've got quarterbacks that are injured and out, right? So they can't be MVPs because they're not playing, and that's what I think his question is where do you rank him with everybody who is a quarterback and not necessarily just the MVP?
I don't know how you got that from that question, but sure, we'll go with that. If it's just active quarterbacks and we're talking about the MVP situation, I would say obviously Purdy's has to be top 5, top 3. I mean, his numbers put him at top 1. So you can try to discredit him because of his weapons, because of everything else. Every great quarterback has weapons. So that's no argument to me. And Jimmy Garoppolo had all the weapons, had Shanahan, and wasn't putting up the kind of numbers that Purdy is. So, I mean, he has to be top 2 to me, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, with Purdy, with me, it's just the eye test. It's like I don't necessarily go off of a numbering system. It's like, wow, this guy's awesome. Wow, this guy's dope. Wow, this is the best 49er quarterback I've seen, arguably since Jeff Garcia. And in many cases, I could make the argument that he's better than Garcia. So, he's. I mean, I've never seen. Let's just say this: I can't think of a 23-year-old quarterback. Doing the things that he did where everything just looks so calm and so smooth. Like, oh yeah, boom, 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 boom. This is nothing.
Yeah.
Like I can't recall ever seeing, and I'm talking about all these guys who were drafted in the top 3 and top 5 or whatever in terms of quarterback, and they've had successful rookie seasons or whatever. But I saw them go through a lot of slumps. I saw them go through issues that all young quarterbacks go through, where they have their moments where they panic and freak out or whatever, which is natural. But just the calm, cool collectiveness of this guy is, I mean, it's kind of giving me some Joe Montana vibes. I don't want to say Joe Montana, but Rex Ryan just said it the other day too about the guy. So all I'm saying that I'm saying he looks awesome. He looks great. I don't want to give him a number, say he's the best in the league. Easily top 10 though. Easily top 10. He's putting up numbers better than most of the guys in the league anyways. And it's just, I don't know why we still have 49er fans that are complaining about him. I don't know where that's coming from and acting like they're not sold on the guy. I think he's going to be here for quite some time. It's going to be a lot of fun. Enjoy the ride, ladies and gentlemen.
Like, I wanted to see Trey Lance, and I'm like, no, Brock's our guy. You know what I mean? Brock is, from what we see now, we know he's our guy. Trey is going to take too long. I wish him the best, but Brock's got it. Even like to know that he had that surgery and came back and essentially is like getting better on the go, and we've been like putting up 30+ point games almost from the start, minus a couple of games that were essentially flukes where we just weren't playing up to our potential, and people were asking for his head when this is his second year in the freaking league. This is like he's only at that point, his he had barely played a full season worth of games. You got to give some guy a little bit, and everybody else was shit in the bed. So like he's done more than I think any young quarterback I think has ever done coming out of college, as far as the system that he works in, what he's asked to do, and how well he executes it. I think he's probably one of the best ever. And then you could throw in the fact that he was the last picked, and that he's, not the right size and all this, and that's something. To me, I like your top 8 throwback. I like that, because I think if you've got everybody in the league healthy, I think he could probably be anywhere between 8 and 5, sitting up there with Rodgers, Mahomes, and all them, just because he can process this system and dish out that ball effectively. And you can see it by the score at the end of the freaking game. Like, there was a game where he didn't even score any touchdowns through the air. But what was he doing? He was getting his first downs and doing all this. We were running the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He was making plays. He's not a selfish person, and that's, in this system, a quarterback who's not worried about all that stuff. He just wants to make sure he wins and gets his guys the ball. He's getting everybody the ball. It's so lucky to have stumbled upon him, essentially.
Obviously, if all the quarterbacks are healthy and, you're taking all that into account, that's going to change the things. But I mean, if you're taking what we have right now, the quarterbacks that are healthy right now, the way he's playing this season, it's an MVP race for this season only. I mean, you can't discredit what the guy's doing. Like, anybody with 2 fucking eyeballs, like, you can sit in the chat and say, oh, he's freaking bitch Trubisky's better and Peterman's better and Tebow's better, and you're full of shit. Like, obviously you're not either watching 49ers football or you're just full of shit. And that's what you're wishing, because you're going to have to face Purdy for the next so many years, and he's going to continue to kick your ass. So, I mean, anybody with 2 eyes that's being honest, that knows fucking football, knows what they're watching.
And yesterday was the first day. Yesterday was the anniversary of when he stepped into the Dolphins game. So it's a 1-year anniversary, and it is compiled the stats of. So basically, 14-3 is his current starting record. That's a full 17 game slot right there from last year's games and this year's games combined. So the stat line basically 69.1 completion percentage, 4,559 yards, 36 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. That's more than a 3-to-1 ratio. It's pretty badass, actually. And the quarterback rating is 113. So I don't know. I can care less about how tall he is. I can care less about how fast he is. I can care less about how far he can throw the ball. I can care less about all that, because the results are there.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome.
It was the first quarter and a half. We didn't score until 8 minutes in the second half. So in 2.5 quarters, we dropped 43 points on them. 2.5 quarters.
You guys got your predictions for the Seahawks game?
Last week's prediction for me, I dropped it on Twitter, and I put, because it was 25-19, I believe, right? And somebody goes, "That's a weird score." I'm thinking, why would he say that's a weird score? And then I researched it. I was just bored, so I was like, let me research this 25-19 score on Google. And what popped up was only 7 games in the history of the NFL have ended with 25-19. And the ironic thing was, I did get half of the score right. I got the 19 points right, but obviously I was off. So I'm gonna pass on the prediction just for now, and then at the very end, just get back to me, and I'll give you a prediction.
What you got, Ryan?
Miriah, did you write down our predictions last week?
Yeah.
What
you
was
had
mine?
31-24.
Can't remember. Okay. This week, I think it was 20 or no, 30 35 to 13.
I like it.
Okay, and I got mine. It's 32 to 17.
I like it. I like it. I'm going to do 35 to 10.
I like it, Miriah.
We'll let
The
them
reason
score
being
one
is
of each.
our average points per game. Well, the average points per game we give up is 15. And we've lost games and given up more than 15 in those games, which brings the average up. So if you take in a win, we give up less on average than 15. So that's why like 10, 13, I think that's probably a really good range right there is how much we'll give up.
Don says 34 to 19. I like that as well.
Yep.
Somi says 21 to 17.
Joe, you didn't even get that close at home.
Exactly.
Let him have his moment in the
You didn't
chat.
get-
It's okay.
I love you, Joe. Love you, Joe. You and Somi and Joe, you guys, no. I got my crystal ball.
No.
Yeah, so let everybody know. I think it's about time to wrap up. Let everybody know where they can find you. Miriah, what you got going on this week?
Yeah. You can find me on 49 Faithfully on YouTube. And then this week I have Thursday, the Two Goat Show with me and Steph Sanchez at 3 Pacific time. And then Saturday, we're doing a Saturday show this week, me and TL, and that'll be at 3 Pacific time. So yeah, come through. We have a good time over there.
Gonna have a good time. Yeah. So
What
pretty easy
you
to
got
find
going
me.
on, Bashar?
Yeah, Friday's usually the busy day that I stream. Got balling with Bash and Ted, which is at 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. It's going to do a stream with Raj and myself. Raj from RSF 49ers. Everybody knows him from Instagram and YouTube or whatever. Great guy. So you're gonna do a dual stream on Friday. That's at 7 o'clock. And should be doing a post-game show on Sunday. I just don't have an exact time yet because after the games, I try to fit in dinner. But usually, maybe I'm thinking about 7 o'clock probably on Sunday night to do a post-game show for the Eagles game and Seahawks game. And yeah, so check it out. 49er Minded.
49er Minded. Bashar.
Thank you, Miriah.
It's not just a game, it's a way of life.
What you got, Ryan?
With that, I want to thank everybody in the chat. I appreciate you. Oh, you'll see me. I hit the notification button. There's the Pick'em show on David McNiner's show. No, there's a Pick'em show on David McNiner's show or channel tomorrow night. I will not be on there, but make sure to go and check that out. It's the Corey Davis, Lockdown Davis Pick'em show. Thursday, I will be streaming the game on my channel. Friday night, you probably find me at the Friday night show. Check the community tab, hopefully, to let you know where that's at. Other than that, we are out. Niners are going to eat some bird again for the second week in a row.
Third.
We out.
See ya.